talk about your first experience with the Tecumseh Theater? I know you're a native Perry County and lifelong, and
Well, I did grow up here, so I've always heard about this great theater, and all my life, and would always, whenever I'm in Shawnee, growing up and becoming a young lawyer, even I would have clients from Shawnee in that area. Just fascinated with the history and the preservation. Always impressed me that there were such good folks willing to preserve this building and willing to go out of their way to make sure that this thing was preserved, this great building. So I know that it was the library for a while, and I would visit that. Had friends and clients. Did a wedding right down the street from the Tecumseh Theater in 1993. And I remember walking up and just looking in the windows again, because every time I'm there, I'm just, whether it's the Destination Shawnee now or over my career being in Shawnee, just always walked up there. And in the past few years, getting to know the mission of Destination Shawnee, I'm very supportive of what they're doing. I just think it's just fantastic, and I have given speeches and presentations there. One of my favorite venues is to go. I do little murder history things, and I've done it twice, different cases in Shawnee, and people come out anyway, and it's a win for me for them to be able to see this venue.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think it does sort of, I think the ethos of the building more or less it kind of stands as sort of, I always view it as like a cultural beacon of the Hocking Valley in general.
Yes, and I know the history, the coal mining, built a lot of opera houses and things like that. I know Nelsonville and New Lexington had an opera house.
Yeah.
Maybe all of the cities in the Appalachian region, and I believe this one was it also an opera house at one time?
Yeah, it was originally built by the Improved Order of the Red Men, a fraternal organization in 1908, and served as a theater pretty much regularly until the 50s, and then obviously kind of let it set for 20 years and then sold it to Skip down the street.
Yeah.
But yeah, do you have sort of a favorite memory or experience of the theater, a personal story?
Probably go there 5 or 6 times a year to listen to music, and went to a retirement party there, and all kinds of. I went to a play. Took my mom. My mom loves it there too. Probably my favorite memory is when they allowed me to go upstairs and look at the theater, and my mouth dropped, and I said, "Oh my, we have encouraged what the saving of this stage and all that beauty up there." My mouth dropped open. That, and just being there among people that are like-minded, and feel the same way I do about history and promotion of we own our culture.
Sure.
And whatever that is, we own it. And so I sort of felt like when I walked into that theater, I just sort of felt like maybe I'm part of this too,
Yeah, it's a living time capsule.
Yeah.
I'm just getting chills thinking about it.
I know. And then they invited me to do another thing, and then I brought some folks in from all over the county. And I said, "Hey, last time I was here, you gave me a little key and you let me go upstairs. Could I take these folks that are from Thornville, Somerset, Glenford, that have never..." "Sure." And with me, I took about 15 people upstairs, and they were just amazed, and they're like, "Well, how much would it take?" And I go, "Not sure, but whatever it is, it's got to be done."
I think it speaks volumes to because a lot of this was built by local people and local fraternal social organizations, and just the intricate detail and sort of the features of like the curvature of the wooden balcony. You know, you can still see the stenciling work up top.
Yeah.
It's kind of faded to pink now, but you know, I think in a lot of ways it symbolizes sort of the resiliency of the people of Appalachia.
Yes.
And it's a testament to those who built it, but also I think it shows the significance of culture to those who built it, but who continue to live here and want to maintain it.
And want to carry that on.
Yeah, like you said, it's our own.
Yeah, we own it.
Yeah, and I think Appalachia, just from a historical standpoint, has been exploited and its people, as well as the natural landscape.
And the resources, and yes,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, the coal companies and local people here that owned some of that land way back.
Mm-hmm.
That I remember when I was just starting to practice law, and the judge that was before me made the comment, people came in here and just raped the land, then left. They did financially, of course, and then.
Yeah, and then there's, because I mean, before the coal companies, I feel like there was just a lot of hill country farms and sort of subsistence style living. There wasn't this, I mean, it was oppressive in a lot of ways. I think especially life in a coal company town, it's almost akin to what sharecropping in a lot of ways,
Yeah.
the same sort of vicious economic cycle.
Yeah.
My third question, this is more sort of an introspective, and it's kind of two parts. I was curious what the Tecumseh Theater means to you personally, but also maybe more broadly, Perry County.
Well, to me personally, yeah, it's just a part of my heart, because I'm just so impressed with how it makes me feel about the folks that built that and the folks that lived here in that era and their lives, and how that we want to preserve that. That's so important of who we are, so that we can carry that forward. So for me personally, I'm just honored that if I can help carry that forward, and whatever form that means for me, whether I help them promote it or help them attract the way to finish it, or I want to be part of that, because it means a lot to me personally. You know. And then for Perry County, it's just a huge touristic asset. People will come here just to see it, and then the area will grow. A strong advocate for the people that live here, especially the children, and for the people that I work with. And I want them to know what they have before it's gone.
I think the identity of the Hocking Valley and Perry County, I think it's tied to the theater itself, because it's a living, breathing thing that is full of memories and different experiences for a whole swath of different people. And in a way, that's a tangible and direct connection to the proud history and a testament, like you were saying, to the people that came, you know, before us. I mean, just from like a sociological perspective, I think there's, with the idea of fatalism in a lot of ways, and Appalachia, I think that's a way to sort of go against that narrative in a lot of ways.
And you know, sometimes I think we can be our own worst enemy, or we don't assert ourselves. We're getting better at that, but I think that, you know, history has not always been kind. The law wasn't always in the favor of the landowner. A lot of people were taken advantage of by corporate greed, or, you know, and that goes on everywhere, but we're a trusting people. And that trust sometimes is taken advantage of.
Yeah.
So I'm working on a new murder mystery, and I told some of the good folks down there, Deb Hutmeyer is a good friend of mine, I said, I'm only going to do this one. I'm starting out at the Tecumseh Theater. Have you ever heard of Sam Shepard, the famous doctor who was in Cleveland, a neuroscientist, and he was charged with killing his wife? And so, but anyway, I do that, And that was very popular. And then I took some old murder trials from Perry County and put together a little program. And now I'm doing a presentation on the 22 caliber killers who were from Central Ohio. I'm going to put that together. And I told them, I'm coming to my favorite destination, Tecumseh Theater.
That's really cool. I really like how you sort of keep it local, and also, and I feel like those are probably pretty popular too. I mean,
they are. You know how it is struggling sometimes to get people out. Once they get out, they love it and tell everybody. So yeah, it's gone really well. And the Tecumseh Theater makes a little money because I don't, of course, would never charge, and they make a little money, and that's what it's all about.
I just have one final question. And again, I really appreciate you taking some time out of your day.
Oh, my pleasure.
It means a lot.
I didn't have time to come down.
Yeah, I'm really trying to keep it of the place as much as possible. And I view this as a way for folks in Shawnee, if they're interested, but also all of Perry County to kind of tell their own story, because I think that's really important. And I think a lot of the times the story has been written for the people and not by them. So
yeah, right.
Trying to get as much local feedback as I can. The last question, how do you envision the Tecumseh Theater going forward into the future?
I think that it can be the center of tourism in that area by attracting. There are certain things that bring people together, music and food, and then you bring your friends, so you have fellowship. And I think the Tecumseh Theater has all that. I think it can be the hub of tourism for that area. You also have the Buckeye Trail that is right there on the Tecumseh Lake, right? It's an opening.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And the Buckeye Trail goes all over Ohio, correct?
Yes,
yeah.
1,400 and some miles.
Yeah. So that's what I envision someday, that being a hub. And we all know that when things like that get going, other things pop up around it. Coffee shops,
sure.
Restaurants. So that's what I'd like to see, some tours of school children. Bring in, your little school classes. Plant the seed. Little Cities does a bike ride too. I've participated in that probably 5 or 6 out of the 8 or 9 times they've had it, maybe. That's one of my favorite ones. When I brought some people down to the Tour de Forest in 19 or 18, and it came into New Stratesville, and they all wanted to see the theater, on up 3 miles into Shawnee. And that's not an easy ride.
No, that's up a ridge, down a ridge, up another ridge.
So.
I really did love the idea that you touched on unity, but that was sort of what I saw in the theater too. I think in sort of the times that we live in, where everything is polarized, I think we need to look for things that inherently bring us together and unify us.
The name after the Indian heritage? So
the story goes that in the 70s, Skip and John and others, the folks that formed the nonprofit to save it, they're really into the Native American movement. I think that was around the time of AIM, and they had known that sort of the Shawnee Native Americans had used Shawnee and surrounding Salt Lake Township as seasonal hunting ground. Originally, the Improved Order of Redmen had named it the Indian Theater, and then it was sold at a sheriff's auction in 1911, and that's sort of when it became the Linda Theater.
Yeah.
So I think it's kind of had that Native American lineage more than once.
Is it the Independent Order of the Redmen?
I believe it's the Improved Order.
Improved Order of the Redmen, which is a nonprofit or a little social club.
So it was a fraternal organization. They really valued patriotism and looked at the Sons of Liberty, kind of had wanted to model a fraternal club. Essentially, it's bestowing patriotism and American virtuosity. So I guess that's different to a lot of people. But interestingly enough, once they built this building in 1909, they put the theater in the left side of the building and then had their offices and grand ballroom on the third floor. and they saw a surge of 211 members.
Wow.
They quickly went bankrupt by 1911, so literally only a year or two later, I think they may have bit off more than they could chew.
What was their mission?
I think it was more so just
social club?
Yeah. It's been really rewarding to work with a bunch of folks that are really passionate and committed to the same sort of visions.
Yeah, I agree. Kind of have that passion here in my work with kids. You know, I took office a long time ago, and the good people of this county, I've always said this publicly, I was the first female, you know. Not that that's a big deal, but they took a chance on me because I was young, and the good people of this county gave me a chance.
I know it's a testament not only to the folks here, but myself. I can, you know, just give back wherever I'm at.
That's the way I feel too. It's not about me, it's about what
Yeah.
we can do with the gifts that we have.